You are live with King Sigma, and today is Saturday, the 28th of May 2022. It's Memorial Weekend. The weather's nice. Everyone that's in the office has a few days off from work, and I hope everyone has a peaceful, fun, and relaxing Memorial Weekend. Just want to take a little look into the chat, give people, a few seconds to come in. It's been a while since I've done a live. This will be Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad, aka Surviving Brad number 26. I hadn't done a Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad upload or a live stream in a while, but I thought that with this situation with Travis Kelce and his ex, Kayla Nicole, that this would be a good time to do a little social media dive. I always like doing a social media dive because the same major social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they have these policies in their community guidelines that strike down any sort of strong male reaction to anti-Black misandry. They're big on that. But when it comes to creating an environment of acceptable misandry, all those platforms, they co-sign this ugly behavior. So here's a situation where we get to see in reverse what happens when a Black man dates a woman that's not Black compared to what the reaction is from the majority of people on these same platforms when a Black woman finds herself dating a non-Black man and it goes bad. So, as I always say, that when it comes to Swirl Mountain, there is no mountain higher than Swirl Mountain. No valley too low, no ocean too deep. No climb is met with greater adversity than the steep climb of Swirl Mountain. Most that attempt to climb are doomed to fail. And I say that for a reason, because what we have here with the situation with Kayla Nicole is a woman that in the Black majority, she would be considered a rare breed. She's attractive. She has a massive following on social media. And when she met Travis Kelce, she was at that sexual peak prime for women in the West. She was around 25 years old. And when she goes into detail about how she met Travis Kelce and how their whole, situation has transpired over the course of 5 to 6 years, it's telling about a lot of the propaganda that we hear on social media from a lot of the self-appointed dating sexual marketplace gurus. Her whole mating situation with Travis Kelce is a rejection of so much of what the self-appointed gurus will tell you is the proper way of going about knocking a female in America specifically, but probably it's the same situation throughout the West. So we'll get a little bit into that. But first, let me, just give a shout out to some of the people that came in. I know this is a short notice and it's been a while, but I do want to, show my appreciation for you guys showing up. I want to shout out Generalissimo Washington, Philip Hunter, Evan Duncan, Black Male First, Robert J. Carmichael, Pharaoh World Class, Carbon Master, Kwame Triple X, Universal Black, Jake Steed, Nas, Brotherly Love, Now Black, Jaws, Philip Hunter, and MJ Hines, and Now Black. So I'll get back to the chat later on. But we're going to go into this article first, because for you that are big into sports, there's a popular sports platform called Barstool Sports. And what happened, I check in on the social media platforms every once in a while just to see what's going on. But specifically, I was looking for some information on the fact that we're just about in an economic recession. So I was just kind of looking at, what was in the recession news, what's coming. And there it is, trending. Travis Kelce, Kayla Nicole. And I'm always hearing about this guy. I know that he plays for the Chiefs, and he's a tight end, and he's probably one of the top 5, tight ends as of last year, at least. I know he's getting up there in age at the tail end of his career. But you hear about him a lot because of the Chiefs and Mahomes and their winning nature over the last few years. So I look into the thread, and I don't see the same smoke the same fire that Bronny James got just last week, that Shannon Sharp, the sports analyst, Hall of Fame, Denver Broncos and Baltimore Ravens player, got over the last 24 hours in regards about talking about this interracial dating thing in America. So the double standard is becoming clearer and clearer, and more popular figures and well-respected talking heads are coming out and speaking on this hypocrisy. So we're going to look at the Barstool article. Let me bring that up real quick. So hopefully you all can see my screen. And this article is from Barstool. So the headline reads, Travis Kelce's girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, allegedly broke up with him because he kept making her pay half of everything in the 5 years they were dating. That headline alone caught me, you know. I'm not a big proponent of the lead with your wallet philosophy, paying for everything, because I'm a millennial, I'm an 80s baby, and Travis Kelce and Kayla Nicole are both millennials as well. So we grew up during a generation of the Beyoncés, you know. Always remember that one song from Beyonce and Destiny's Child, back when they were really tearing it up, you know, platinum status. And I remember the song Independent Woman because of the Charlie's Angels movies back then. And I just remember listening to the females, you know, in their talk about how much pride they had in being career-oriented women, being financially successful, being able to buy themselves Birkin bags, buy themselves BMWs and all that. And people forget that was an entire generation of singers that are now in their 30s and early 40s that would have been the ones that were chart topping at that time. And so much of it was that hyper feminist, we can do it without a man rhetoric. And now what we're seeing is the aftermath of the 90s and the 2000s generations coming to fruition. So let's get more into this article from Barstool Sports. So this is Travis Kelce and this is Kayla Nicole. You know, she's a type of female that within Black America, she's definitely would be at the top tier as far as just looks alone. It's a lot of guys right now that this is someone that they will tell you that they were married within 3-6 months. And for some of the simps on her, you know, on the OnlyFans marketplace, they will definitely make sure that she never goes hungry out here. So let's not act like just because, you know, Travis Kelce kicked her to the curb that she's going to go hungry. I don't know if the broad has like an OnlyFans or her level of content that she does, but I can guarantee you, after being around the social media environment for a few years now, I can tell you that a woman like her, she will probably have a nice little simp army of dudes that will keep her rent paid, keep her in a nice car, which is funny because there is an article that that relates to her, because I don't know if she was just trying to play naive, that she didn't understand the simp economy. And this is only a year ago. So last summer, Kayla had posted something on like Instagram where she had asked the question, you know, where do all these IG thoughts that are just like her, you know, IG eye candy chicks, where do they be getting all these Birkin bags from? And how are they driving these, you know, 50,000 plus cars and going on all these 5-star vacations? She had posed that question on IG and she had gotten a lot of response, you know, obviously it went viral and whatnot, but we'll get to that a little bit later because it's just kind of funny because all the rhetoric that you get from the self-appointed gurus is that you got to pay this amount of money, you got to do this amount of chasing, but that wasn't the case with Travis Kelce. He was someone that's in the elite financial status. He has elite status and he's white. He had all the things that you're told that if you have, you're supposed to take care of these modern females. But no, he did the opposite because he comes from a family that taught him fiscal responsibility and taught him the difference between his money and her pussy. So let's get into the article. So it goes on to say, from the source on Barstool, they dated for 5 years And throughout those years, Kayla got only $100 from Travis. So do the math and get how much he gave her each month. Travis Kelce was giving Kayla $3.70 each month. Kayla had complained before about not getting expensive gifts. Kayla Nicole caused the internet to go nuts when she went on IG Live to ask how women are able to afford designer bags and G-Wagons. She claimed she was forced to buy her clothes at Zara because she had bills to pay. People thought it was odd because her boyfriend is Travis Kelce, who isn't earning for money at all. Real sad development on the battlefield of love, as Travis Kelce and his longtime girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, appear to be no longer a couple. I think this is like the 5th time they've broken up, but this one may very well be the final straw. All of their pictures on IG together have been taken down. Shock. The real story here is why this happened. According to the rumors, this doesn't have anything to do with cheating, but more that Travis Kelce is a cheap bastard. In the 5 years that they dated, he apparently made Kayla Nicole split every bill, dinner, trip, etc. The intention was for her to prove she wasn't just in it for the money and actually liked him. So let me just pause there for a second and say this. So what we're seeing here is that Travis Kelce said, you know what? I'm going to put her on the training program. I'm going to see if she can make it through year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. But the self-appointed gurus will tell you out there, love at first sight, yada, 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 yada. Not with Travis Kelce. His family taught him different. So 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years go by, and he still is only giving her $3.70 per month while she has 500,000 followers on social media. We all have seen it. We've seen how strong and how wealthy the simp economy is. You can fuel a jet to Mars with the amount of money that the simps are willing to pay for just the possibility of a woman on social media just clicking like with an emoji. That could be $100 right there, but no, she said, I gotta stick it out with Brad, right? Because I've told you before, again, there is no mountain higher than Swirl Mountain. And Kayla was near the top. We've seen it before. We've seen it from the pink pill misandrists before. They get so close to the mountaintop of Swirl Mountain. They can almost touch the head of white Jesus on that mountain. And then just like that, Brad pulls the rug on her. And the situation that you get in the news is kind of funny because I've come to understand that a lot of the problems that Black men face are self-imposed because of a lack of a standard, ethics, and integrity. And what was funny, reading the story about Travis and Kayla, now we know that she said he claimed that he's a cheap bastard and was making her do 50-50. I get that part. But there was something else recently that happened where Cam Newton, because you know Cam Newton has kind of been on this kind of shifting towards like a very masculinist kind of talking points and narrative lately. And he found himself talking about the traditional roles that he grew up with his family, seeing his father, seeing his mother, seeing the masculine, and seeing that feminine principle come together and create an environment where he and his siblings could be very successful Black Americans out here. And he was just saying that he respected that Claire Huxtable, the kind of role that his mom played, and how it made him a confident man and created an environment of winners and excellence in his own household. And boy, the fourth wave feminists came out with the hatchets and the axes for him, because all he said is that I want me a traditional woman. So obviously Kayla decided to dip her toe into the conversation about Cam Newton, and Travis Kelce wasn't feeling it. Now that's interesting that a white dude would tell a Black female who he's been with, who's been like kind of like a side piece on and off. It's hard to really tell with their relationship, but there have been rumors of him being mostly with white women, and he was, using her as just like a little chocolate side piece. So you guys can go do the research yourself on that one. But the point is, it's just interesting to me that a white guy would hold her to a standard and tell her, hey, what you did against Cam Newton, this is why I didn't marry your ass, because you're not holding up that traditional value. And he actually was agreeing low key with Cam Newton. And he told her that she was the one that was out of order. And he was willing to check her and hold her to that standard and kick her ass straight to the curb for violating probably what he agrees with. So that's also something that stood out in my mind. Because I was asking myself, I said, would the average black man out here in 2022 hold a woman like that to that kind of standard? Most black dudes would fold in 10 seconds. They can't hold the line like that. But Travis Kelce let her know, hey, you're one of many. One of many. I didn't chase you. You chased me. And that what was so crazy about reading about this whole situation was that when a couple months back before they broke up, just this year, just a couple months ago, she was being interviewed by the sports media. And Kayla was telling a story of how she got into a relationship with Travis Kelce. So, a lot of brothers that follow this Swirl Mountain, kind of narratives and stories have always said, and we know the late David Carroll used to say that his white skin covers a multitude of imperfections and sins. And many of us, we're coming to find out the reality of that situation. But in the situation with Kayla, a woman who has 500,000 subscribers in social media, she says herself that Travis Kelce, he kind of just popped up on a few of her pictures. He was liking over a few months. Now, she got 500,000 subscribers. So you can imagine how many likes she gets, how many comments. She didn't even say that he commented, just the like alone. So in that sea of black simps, a white face showed up, and that was enough for her to ignore all the other 10,000 people that will like and post comments on any picture that she uploads. So, for example, let me kind of just show you some of the pictures I'm talking about, and then I'll get back to the article. So let me bring up the picture of your girl, Kayla, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let me see. It's been a while since I've been on here, so let me get this. Let's see. Okay, so let me bring up Kayla real quick. So hopefully y'all can see the screen right now. These are some pictures from Kayla Nicole, so you can get an idea of what the kind of pictures that she posts on social media are. Feel free to rate her in the chat if you want to. I'm not really big on rating females that's on the internet because of the filters, because of the lighting, because of the makeup. I'm really in the game now where I got to see what she looked like in person to do a rating anymore. But if you guys want to go ahead and rate her face, rate her body, let me know. Because I'm just really trying to get to the point about this simp economy and how, she's someone who wouldn't have any problem, getting her bills paid by these dudes. So these are some of her pictures. So it looks like she's an ambassador for the brand Fenty. And I believe that's associated with the singer Rihanna, if I'm correct. Okay, what's going on here? Let me see. I have to come back to it. It looks like there's some issues going on right now at Twitter. It's not loading up. So let me get back to the article. I'll go back to her pictures so you guys can thirst over her in a few minutes. Let me see. So yeah, getting back to the article. The real story here is why this happened. According to rumors, this doesn't have anything to do with cheating, but more that Travis Kelce, a cheap bastard. She says that love that mentality, probably a really smart thing for most athletes to do if we're being honest. The thing is that plays for the first year or two tops. Once you start dating for a long ass time, you got to start picking up the whole thing. If you're going on vacation, you got to foot that bill. You got yourself a 4-year, $57 million deal. You need to be the gentleman and shell out the cash. Kayla's friend explained, Travis is very cheap. In the beginning, he tried to make Kayla prove that she wasn't with him for the money, so she had to pay half everything. Chivalry? Nope, not for Travis Kelce. He may be telling her it's to prove she's not after the wallet, but deep down, that man has no plans of running out of money like other pro athletes who have blown through their contracts in the past. The thought of him Venmo requesting her on the first of every month for rent is simply incredible. Well, now it's off to the open market. I don't see the star NFL tight end or the smoke model having any issues finding a new partner. Someone just get eyes on Stephen A. So this is someone that, just commented on Twitter. They're saying that hide your wife, T. Kelce, because Stephen A. Smith at it again on live TV. So I guess they say that Stephen A. Smith is like the cleanup man. So here's a good picture of Kayla Nicole. Here's a good picture of her. The Barstool article. She has a nice body, definitely more fit than the average American woman. She has a nice face. She's pretty. Here's a little thirst trap. I'm wondering if she got that dude Travis Kelce tattoo on her the same way that Keisha Cole got the tattoo of Antonio Brown after like 24 hours or something. Imagine all the black simps that are sitting there ready to, do whatever it takes to get in her DMs. And then there's like a tattoo of Travis Kelce saying the white man's whore on her body somewhere. So because she got tattoos, but I really can't see what they are. But I'm just saying, I've seen so much since I started the Survivor and Brad series that I wouldn't put it past her that she has some kind of tattoo related to like the white man. Like, how a lot of the hoteps, they'll say that white supremacists and white nationalists throw up the 6666 as some kind of white supremacist sign. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a picture of a Brad or that dude Travis on her throwing up the 66 on her body somewhere. I would not be surprised, man. You see a lot when you track these kind of narratives and cases. So here's another picture of her. So I guess, she has like 645,000 followers. So she'll be finding her a black simp and throwing on a dashiki very soon. I give her about, because, it's a hot girl, hot hole summer right now, about to kick off in a few weeks, and it's Memorial Weekend. This is basically like the start of summer. So, she got to get her, get her rocks off, get her little rebounds off for the summer. And when it starts to get cold out there, because I don't know if she's from Kansas City or Ohio or whatever, but if she's from the Midwest, like Travis is, it gets cold here around Thanksgiving. So, she'll be looking for a simp around Thanksgiving. A few more pictures. So there she is. I'm gonna go out of this, check back in with the brothers in the chat, and then we're gonna go to Twitter to see get some comments from other people and kind of see the narrative and the difference between when it's a black man versus when it's a black woman. It's pretty unbelievable, to be honest with you. So let's see. All right, so I'm going to the chat. So let's see what the brothers are saying up in here. Okay. So let's see. So MJ Hines says, Kelce showed her what time it is on top of Swirl Mountain. Man. See, the thing about it that was crazy to me, MJ, is that Travis Kelce is one of the top 3 highest paid tight ends in the NFL. He makes around $14 million per year. And he's in the middle of a 4-year contract right now. So what was funny is that this is how these Brads be moving, bro. They move with precision. Think about it. Travis Kelce just signed that new contract in like either 2021 or 2022. The rumors of their breakup all came around 2022. So is there something that we should be catching on here? Kind of like what happened with Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez was leading Jennifer Lopez on. I think she's in her 50s now. She was thinking that was the last train leaving, that she was about to jump on it with Alex Rodriguez. But what she didn't know, Alex Rodriguez was in the middle of buying the Minnesota Timberwolves along with Mark Lorre, the serial business entrepreneur. So they became the 2 new owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves right after he broke up with Jennifer Lopez. So he dumped her first, And then he became the billionaire Alex Rodriguez that he is today. So he made sure that he didn't get under any kind of marriage contract with Jennifer Lopez right before he bought the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm thinking the same thing more than likely happened with Travis Kelce. He was about to sign the new contract, become one of the top paid tight ends in the NFL. He was like, hey, because that 5-year mark, like you've been with a woman for 5 years, that's usually when even the most down loyal type of female is going to jump ship at around that time. Around, that's usually when you could tell like a woman that's really, really interested in you, that's really, really down for you. Because if she's sticking with you after year 3, year 4, year 5, she's fully invested. So Kayla, she gave her last big peak years, 25 to 30. That was that last peak years before a plateau and then the significant sexual marketplace drop. Now, again, let me be clear. When we talk about sexual marketplace drops for women, it ain't the same as it is for men. For a woman, it means that at 25, she had 10,000 dudes in the DMs. At 30, maybe 5,000. And then it just kind of stays between, like 1,000 to 3,000. So it's a difference when we talk about that sexual marketplace drop, but he definitely got the last run out of the tight fit body. He got his serving of chocolate, bro. So he said, you know what? It's time to dump. Let her go. He just may have used like the Cam Newton situation, going 50-50. Those are all, de-escalations. Because again, I've heard before how like Brad, he's very skilled at dumping these chicks. And then it's like he doesn't get the backlash that a black man or a non-white man would get. He's very skilled at it. He makes the woman think that it was her that broke up with him. You see what I'm saying? But she has to be looking at herself kind of foolish because after 5 years, you gave him the best of you, and now it's going to be given to probably a white woman because I've seen pictures of him now with white IG models. So just think about that. He got to ride that chocolate thing for 5 years, and he probably could still ride it even after he gets married to the white woman, even after he has that biracial child. The white child with his white woman. She wanted the biracial child, but she ain't getting it from him. He will still probably be able to hit her up as a long-term side piece well into her 30s. I'm just saying. So that's how I think about that, MJ. So let me go. Nas, don't break your wallet for these females laughing out loud. You do not need to pay for play. You absolutely do not. Again, the dude Travis Kelce, according to Barstool, says that he didn't even give her more than $100 per year. She can get $100 from the Simps every second if she just goes on her IG Live, I'm quite sure. And if she sets up an OnlyFans, I guarantee you she can make a normal salary income that a working person would make. So we're talking like 50 to 60K. She could make 50 to 60K with 1 or 2 lives on her IG per week or on her OnlyFans. I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's just where I'm at. Maybe I'm pessimistic about everything, but I'm serious that this simp economy is way bigger than I ever knew. It took me years to understand the lengths that men will go just for a little bit of digital attention. Now, let me be clear. I mean digital attention. These are not dudes that are ever going to whiff that thing, touch that thing. In fact, it's their dollars that are going to underwrite the lifestyle of the IG thoughts, the IG eye candy, so that they can continue to pursue that top 10% man like a Travis Kelce while he ain't paying nothing. In fact, we should have learned this from Colin Kaepernick. He just got another tryout for the NFL after like 5 years. He might be on the NFL roster with the whole Brittany Renner situation. Brittany Renner herself said that Colin Kaepernick, at the peak of his career, fresh off the Super Bowl, Nike, commercials all over, getting the bag. She said he made her pay her airfare and her hotel to come get big now. Okay? So these are NFL guys, and we know that the quarterbacks are the highest tier of pay scale in the NFL. They are the ones that are going to get that 30 to 40 million per year. I think that Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland Browns just knocked like 40 million per year. Some crazy number. I know that Deshaun Watson has got like a huge contract that's like the biggest in the NFL, and it's all guaranteed. So we saw with Colin Kaepernick that he had the biracial, that all these dudes are in the DMs talking about, I know that you're a stepmother now, and I know that you had the NBA player kid, and I know that you're getting that 18 to 26 years of child support and all that, but I still want to play stepdaddy on my 50K per year with you. And Colin Kaepernick said, get your ass on Spirit Airlines, fly out here. We not even going to the Hilton. We going straight to the Motel 6, and you're going to pay for it. And she surely did. So Travis Kelce had the same playbook. They give it to all the NFL rookies and the NFL rookies or whatnot. Some listen, some don't. So they're like, why would you pay for something that's free? And we saw with the situation with Kayla Nicole. She pursued him, okay? That's what's so crazy about it. In her situation, she said that Travis was, I guess, following her page, just liking. That's it. He would like a picture, no comments, no DMs. So she said she found herself alone on New Year's Eve or something like that, which is strange. How can you be alone on New Year's Eve when you got 645,000 social media followers, okay? But she said that she slid into his DMs, okay? So she pursued him. And then she locked down the situation, I guess, as a permanent side piece. So that's how it happened. He didn't even have to DM her. He didn't have to send her no cash apps. He didn't have to subscribe to the newsletter, anything like that. All he had to do was like a few pictures, make his presence known in a sea of black simps. And that one white face was just the halo effect, took care of the rest. And now here she is, dumped on the sidelines, while some white woman is rubbing her hands together like, yeah, he got to sow his wild oats. Now it's time for me to get the bag. Because you know when white women come for the bag, they're going to get the empathy. They know all the laws. They know who the best attorneys are. Gloria Allred, her daughter Lisa Bloom, speed dial, baby. So they're going to be right up in there. We're not signing no prenup. They're going to get all the gains. So she got all the nut. They're going to get all the gains. That's just how this game works on Swirl Mountain. And it's going to be more and more of these cases. So let me see some other comments. Now Black, he says, anytime Travis is in the city, she's in, he's hitting that. No question. Now Black, I 100% agree with you. Alan Stranger says, let them starve if they not submissive for chase. Facts. Kevin Kelly, shout out to Kevin Kelly. He says, these wimps sick, make me sick to my stomach. I wish I knew where Thanos hid the gauntlet. Shit. I mean, come on, man. Let me see. Damn, my apologies to the brothers. Robert J. Carmichael says another great one. Appreciate you for the super chat, Robert J. Michael. So let me see. I saw that super chat. I just now saw it. So Generalissimo Washington says, but I thought Brad was better. Right. Brad is supposedly better. But if it's one thing I hope that I've taught you guys through the course of the Surviving Brad series is that Brad is no better than a black man. He sees that the average American woman, the average Western woman, the only thing that she's bringing to the table is that WAP. Cardi B said it best, that WAP. That's what she's bringing to the table. But the value of that WAP has a high level of diminishing returns. You know, when it comes to sex, everyone knows that it's the best during the first 3 or 4 rounds. After that, that law of diminishing returns kicks in, and the value of that WAP goes down very, very quickly. So I know a lot of these women today, they fool themselves into believing that their pussy really is made out of gold. But unfortunately, any man will tell you that no matter how the finest woman that he was with, there came a point when you was hitting it enough times, you said, okay, on to the next one. Because as we say, coming from the hood, there's no pussy better than new pussy, right? So Kayla Nicole is learning that the hard way. She thought because she scaled the top of Swirl Mountain that she was going to touch white Jesus, but she got kicked right back down to the bottom. But the fall ain't too bad. There's a safety net of Sims 4 out there. Let me see. So the brother, Black Male First. Yeah, Black Male First Media in the house. Salute to that brother. Y'all go check out his channel. Let me see. Get a couple more of these comments before we go to the Twitter thread, man. So let me see. Christopher Day, simp pool is a female's passive income and emotional agency. Yeah, it's crazy out here because as much as we talk about the voluntary simp comment economy. We are all forced by coercion by the state and the federal government to be involuntary simps. You guys may not think about it that way, but we are all involuntary simps through taxation, because the taxation that doesn't go to defense spending or Medicaid and Social Security and things like that, especially at the state level, those are going to go to social insurance programs that 80% of the time are going to go to female focused needs. So that's the unfortunate thing about the way that our economy works and the way that taxation works, is that we are all forced into an involuntary simphood through taxation. But you got these high level simps, they're going to go ahead and they're already getting hit on the taxes for 25 to 40% of their taxes on a yearly basis. They're going to take their net after tax money, the net pay, and they're still going to go off and simp and be like the social safety net to women that already got a social safety net. So the worst scenario for the American woman, the Western woman, is to fall to the state level, federal level safety net. That's as far as they're going to go. Your black ass, when you fall through the safety net, it's a big gaping hole. So imagine, those guys that jump out the planes and shit and be flying with the parachutes, but they think that they're going to fall into the net or the bean bag at the bottom. So imagine when, being like, you're at like about 15,000 feet and you see the bean bag, and then like in the last 1,000 feet, you realize that was an optical illusion and it's just dead cement there. That's you as a Western male. When you fall down, you're falling straight into the pavement, and they're going to have to come peel your ass up a few minutes later. But for the Western female, there's a lot of safety nets. She ain't falling that far, bro. The simp economy guarantees that. So let's get this last one. Dollar Washer. These chicks is mad. I ain't chasing them literally. I don't really see the point of the whole chasing. I never really been into the whole chasing game. My strategy has always been the signals. I look for the green light. John Legend had a song, "Give Me the Green Light." So that one right there, like I'm always looking for the green light, body language, eye contact. I've always been that guy. I've never been the, chase after a woman that's not looking at you. She hasn't given you any signals of interest. I've never been that guy. IOIs, indicators of interest. I'm that guy. When you're that guy, you don't have to chase. Now, unfortunately for some dudes, they feel like, well, that 9 or that 10 isn't going to chase me. See, I'm cool. I'll take that 6, 7, or 8 that actually is genuinely interested in what I have to say to it. That's genuinely interested in what I look like and how my physique is looking, how my smile is. That's the one that I want. I'm not in that group that is like, man, I don't care if a woman likes me. I'm going to chase her. I'm going to pay for her. I'm going to take care of everything. And you see what happened with Kayla Nicole, and you see how Travis Kelce handled it. That man got him a $57 million contract, and she was supposed to be there. She was supposed to get the ring. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she still didn't get the ring. Now she's back on the market at about 30 to going on 31. And you got to wonder, will she get a chance to knock a guy in that kind of economic condition? I don't think so. What do you guys think? Do you think that Kayla Nicole will be able to knock another NFL or NBA player in her 30s? Or will she just kind of end up being like on that reality TV show Carousel that a lot of the old side pieces have ended up over time? Do you see her on like one of those Real Housewives or Real Households, Real Side Pieces type shows? Or do you really, really believe that she will be able to knock like another Travis Kelce level producer? So Robert J. K. Michael, he says he thinks that she can. I don't think she can, bro. I think these athletes and these NFL players are getting smarter, bro. Like, it's not easy. You don't really hear too often of the women that used to be like, really top notch in their 20s, getting into their 30s and being able to catch those dudes like that. I think the dudes get a little bit smarter every year, because I would find it kind of surprising that someone like Cam Newton would actually start stealing talking points from the manosphere and from the masculine sectors of social media, because you've heard more and more of these A and B list kind of celebrities stealing talking points from a lot of the small level content creators that are in the masculine and manosphere type spaces. So I don't know, man. I don't think they're as dumb as they were 10, 20 years ago, because we know that a large portion of professional athletes go broke and bankrupt within like a few years of retiring. But I think that they're getting smarter because you got like these 20 for 20 kind of like documentaries that be on ESPN and different sports networks that show like the trials and tribulation of someone like a Mike Tyson or Kevin Garnett. And I think that the younger guys are coming in like, bro, why would you buy something that you could rent for a couple seasons and then just send her back to the sexual marketplace? These guys are getting smarter. And especially with the whole thing with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp being like the big trial this last couple of weeks, the family court, divorce court, civil suit kind of thing they got going on. I think cats are getting a little bit smarter about that. So I don't know, man. I don't know if she'll catch another Travis Kelce. So let me see. Now Black says she gets a lower caliber black NFL player raised by a black single mother. Yeah, but will she just be another side piece, or will she be able to get that NFL player guy to put a ring on it? I don't know, man. I don't know, because you got to remember, a lot of the NFL players that have the family orientation like that, they tend to be married by around 28. You kind of see that around the league. Like, if he's an NFL player or NBA player and he has that family orientation, usually those dudes will probably get married around 28 when they're in like their final contract or at least their second to last contract. So you'll kind of see signs of that. They'll usually get married around 28, 29 because they'll have their fun for a few years in the league, knocking everything from New York to LA and in between or whatnot. But usually, yeah, you'll see it show up around 28, 29 with those guys. I don't really be hearing a lot about the dudes that are in their 30s. And we know statistically that when men hit their 30s, that the chance of them getting married drops drastically, man, until the age of 40. Then it just like, it drops all the way through the floor. So I don't know, man, if there's a bunch of dudes in the pros, because they would be around the same age as her. Because I think the average NBA player, NFL player retires around the age of like, what, 33, 32? So I don't know, man. So NBA fans knock me to what? She didn't get anything from Travis except hard dick and bubble gum. She can definitely get used by NFL players. Yeah, I mean, you're right, NBA fan. That's exactly what she got. But I'm quite sure that there's someone listening right now in the chat beating their head against the wall saying, damn, I'm going to have to follow up behind that. Because he ready to simp, right? It's a simp listening right now. And he's saying that I don't know what these dudes are talking about. I'm going to get out there and work 60 to 80 hours a week so I can pay this woman's rent for the rest of her life and still not get a whiff. So there's a simp listening right now that will take that deal, I'm sure. But I'm just talking about like a Joel Embiid or a Steph Curry type, level. Because Travis Kelce, again, $14 million a year. How do you not secure the bag? Like, that's an embarrassment for the black women that scale Squirrel Mountain. Here's like a teachable moment for you. Please, if you're going to get it, at least get the bag. 5 years. She had 5 years to secure half. And at the end, she didn't get anything. $100 per month. Or I think he said $100 per year was her how much that he was giving her, and less than $5 per month. So come on, man. 5 years and you didn't get the bag. What's going on? So all right. Let me go to the Twitter because I kind of want to show you guys how when we get cases like Bronny James, the reaction is 80% vicious and malicious towards a 17-year-old kid. I've seen all of these suspected pedophile women going after Bronny James because he took a very pretty and fertile blonde white chick to the prom. These 40 plus suspected pedophile women went after a 17-year-old kid with the viciousness of the Jew hunters going after former Nazis who escaped Germany and was hiding in Venezuela or some shit. Just think about that for a minute. 40 plus year old suspected pedophile women, all angry, ruining their Memorial Week coming up because Bronny James took a blonde white girl. All over social media, just embarrassing to the point where public figures had to come out and disown these misandrous women. But let's look at what the reaction was when Kayla Nicole got pumped and dumped after 5 years of trying to climb Squirrel Mountain. Let's get to that. So here we go. So here's Kayla. Some more pictures of her. So she was living it up, man. This woman wasn't missing no meals. She was good. But Travis Kelce had her only wishing to have designer bags, but no designer bags were coming. So here was the response from Twitter. This is Barstool Sports main page. So we're just going to kind of go down. This was when the article came up. So let's kind of go down. So you see that it got like 2,200 retweets, nearly 4,000 quoted tweets, and just about 37,000 likes. So this was a viral article, and I'm sure more people will be talking about it over the Memorial weekend. So let's see what some people are saying, because I can't wait to get to those broads over there at Lipstick Alley. That's like the misandrist pit of all misandrist pits for the entire internet, Lipstick Alley, because they had a lot to say, because they were part of that praise every black woman with a white man congregation, and they love some Travis Kelce. Man, he couldn't do no wrong. No matter how many years tick by, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it never failed that if you went and looked in Lipstick Alley, whenever they named Travis Kelce and Kayla Nicole pop the news, they was on, oh God, praise white Jesus, Travis Kelce. Oh, girl, you did so good. But if it was a black man, it would be the total opposite. If a black man has strung along a black woman for 5 years, they would be talking about, see, none of these Negroes are worth anything. These Negroes don't value family values. These Negroes don't value marriage. But none of that from Travis Kelce, even now, when you look at their comments, they're very PG-13 level, because they don't want to ruin the opportunity to try to scale Swirl Mountain themselves. So they're very gentle in their language of Travis Kelce pumping and dumping. Shout out to Ramil, the radical, on that one, on the pump and dump playbook. But when Brad does the pump and dump playbook, they're very gentle in how they handle it. She can't get back those 5 years now. So they don't care about Kayla, because they can't have his name tarnished. They can't have the white male image tarnished as well, because they have to keep that sparkling clean, and they can't do anything to dim the light of the halo effect around Brad. So they're going to be very gentle. So let's see what they got to say. So this is a dude. He says, I understand every relationship is unique, but a man's job is to provide security, entertainment, financially, physically, emotionally. Y'all want ladies to pay half. They're going to take half of the girls and identify as the men. So here is a simp. See for yourself. He doesn't understand that while he's out here simping, talking about paying half and protecting all women and all that, she's out there going up and down on Kelce's cock, while he is just sitting here getting his virtual signaling on. He ain't going to get nowhere near that woman, even if he offers to pay half, because she can get your money without giving you access. That's key. I would have never believed it prior to like about 2019. You couldn't convince me under no circumstances that men would be out here tricking without ever being able to see or touch a woman. That was something I would never imagine. But now, in 2022, the simp economy is the norm now. So a guy like him, he's exactly the one that I'm talking about, that promotes and underwrites the simp economy. So while he's virtual signaling, she's still hitting up Kelce, trying to figure out how she can get back in. Maybe she can get her a permanent side piece position. See, this is how dumb these dudes are. So this other guy responds to me, says, a man's job is to provide security, entertainment, financial stability, physical security, and emotional security. What? What is expected of a woman exactly? So this guy has some sense about him. But like I said, man, I used to didn't think that the simps outnumbered the non-simps to the degree that they do, but now it's official. That's why when I talk about feminism, I talk about it more like in a theoretical sense, in a political access sense, but not in terms of what goes on the practical ground level, because I've come to believe that no matter how bad it gets with these women's behavior, the majority of men will continue to underwrite and support that bad behavior. So all we can do as the minority of men that ain't trying to sign up for that program is take advantage of the simp economy ourselves and maintain our position and standards, but allow them to do what they do. And you just be aware and put yourself in that 20% of men that will always have access to the pool of the top 50% of women. That's what you should be striving for, because you're not going to be able to get rid of the simp economy unless you get like a total change in the infrastructure of the family households in America. And right now, it just seems to get worse and worse every few years. When we look at the data, it shows that more and more of these households are run by women. And I just don't see that change anytime soon. So just something to think about. So this other cat, L. Jeffy, says, I take Mr. Kelce's side. Having seen what has happened with PJ Washington, I think that it was in Mr. Kelce's favor to live like this. Having already been a professional athlete, it is very hard to find someone who is genuine once you're already making money. Now, I got to ask the people in the chat, do you see how gentle the men are with this situation? Even the men, I'm confident that if it was Antonio Brown pumping and dumping his woman after 5 years of being a permanent side piece, I just don't even think that the men themselves would be gentle in their words. They would be like, how could you do that to that black queen? How could you do that to that beautiful sister? How could you hurt her? This is why these women aren't loyal, because of men like you, AB. You see what I'm saying? But Antonio Brown is actually a brother that gets it. You see what I'm saying? Antonio Brown is like, I'm going to get into the casual situation. I'm going to get access to that top 10% woman that all you simps want. I'm a pump. I'm a dump. I'm going to leave my future inside of her, and you're going to come after and clean it up with your dollar bills. And you're not going to stop it because you can't stop yourself because you don't have the discipline to put yourself first. Men like Antonio Brown, he's saying, I'm putting myself first. Let these hoes choose. So let's continue down. So this guy says, it's a lot of guys commenting on this. This is funny because you really don't see the females in the top comments right now. It's mostly dudes. Not a big fan of Kelce, but this is some king shit. Equality at its finest. Bingo! We got a winner. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. He said, not a big fan of Kelce, but this is some king shit. Equality at its finest. And we know that when it comes to the radicalized feminists, they only promote equality when it means entitlement for them. Because we saw the situation with Halle Berry. Halle Berry was livid when she found out that she was going to have to pay all those former brads alimony. She got her biracial kids. She got to the top of Swirl Mountain, and it's only going to cost her 20% of her income. It's only going to cost her palimony for a certain, term. She's paying annuities to her former brads so that she got the seed, and they're going to get a nice gigolo check for the next 20 years. So we saw that when the standard is applied to the radicalized feminists, they don't want none of that equality. But when it's you getting taken to the cleaners, they're all for it. They're all for it. So this guy gets it. So let's see. So here's another dude. Is he on Team Simp? He says, kind of fucked up to ask somebody who makes 10% or less of your annual income to pay for 50%, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not going to say that this dude is a pure simp, because it is kind of crazy that a dude making $14 million per year, that is some strong game right there. You got all these game gurus out here that are running around. Hey, while we're looking at the thread, you see, look over there in the right corner. Travis Kelce is trending right now as we do this live. That's hilarious. So you got a lot of these self-appointed gurus who, if you were actually to investigate their wives, their baby mamas, and their girlfriend, they cannot get a 3+ to save their life. But Trevor Kelce, he is a top elite male in America. Nearly 15 million per year. And he still said, I ain't paying. This is 50-50, radicalized feminism, Beyonce, pure independent women standard. You get yours, I'm going to get mine. I'm bringing dick to the table. You're bringing box to the table. Fair exchange. Why would I give you my cash too? You're getting D and I'm getting P. That's his stance. So we're going to call that the Brad Swirl Mountain Kelce standard going forward. The Kelce standard says she's bringing P, I'm bringing D. It doesn't matter what my annual income. That's for me and my future wife. And I'm on board with that. Because the only woman that you should ever consider spending money on more than she would spend on you is the woman that is the bearer of your children or your wife. Those are the only circumstances I can see where you would give a woman more than what she gives you. But if you come across a woman who she's willing to pay for dates, she's willing to surprise you with gifts and things like that, then it's okay to pay for dates and surprise her with gifts. But never give more to a woman than she gives to you. Travis Kelce gets that. And he's almost making $15 million a year, and he still said, all you're going to get is dick and bubble gum. Goodbye, Black Queen. Where you at, Becky? So let's see what some of these other cats had to say. Then I'll go back to the chat. Do they want to be treated as equals or not? I'm confused. So what you're seeing here, there are a lot of men around the planet that are waking up, man. And they're asking real questions. Because if this was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, the simps would severely outnumber the guys with some common sense. But you're seeing more and more dudes that, yeah, they might tend towards a simp lane, but even they are starting to say, damn, this is an unfair deal, man. So here's someone, let's see what Applejack's got to say. More than that, though, I'm sure she makes less than 10% of his entire annual income. That's not exactly equality. If I'm giving up 90% of my funds to support lifestyle with you, and you're just living lavishly, essentially watching me struggle, we done. Okay. One for Team Non-Simp. We'll read a couple more of these, and then I'll go back to you guys. So he says, feminists not sure what to do here. Bash the man for practicing equality. Good question. Can't blame her after 5 years. It would be difficult to keep up financially having to pay half and split checks with a multimillionaire. It shows a lack of care and trust on his part. Hopefully she finds someone who will truly appreciate her and who does not mind paying for dinner. Okay, I'm going to pause there. We'll come back. I want to check in with the chat real quick. So let's see what y'all got to say. So D-Mac said the Kelce standard. Yeah, I'm serious. Like on Swirl Mountain, we couldn't find the right term for it, but now we have it. Because now we have a Brad who is saying, I'm 50-50. And remember, you know that these simps and these manipulative whores, they follow whatever white Jesus says. So because Travis Kelce said, it's okay to go 50-50, now the new wave is going to be 50-50 again. So we had the prior 20 years, it was 50-50. Then it was a brief moment the last year or two. Everybody wants to lead with their wallet. Everyone wants to be a proud simp. Now Travis Kelce saying, no, you simps can go to hell. We're doing 50-50. I could be a billionaire. I could be a millionaire. We're doing 50-50. The Kelce standard is here. Mark it down. 28 May 2022. Swirl Mountain, Kelce standard. 50-50. Kaepernick, send Brittany Renner's ass back home. We going forward. 50-50. So let's see. Charles Irby. Charles Irby says, I never had much interest in the high value simp. Modern women only get 50-50 relationship. Oh, yeah, you can count me in on that, man. But I'm me being like a person that's very much libertarian, independent, I believe that people, if you want to vote with your wallet and you want to play the simp game, go right ahead. But I'm telling you, man, 9 out of 10 times you're going to come up snake eyes with that simp game, bro. Travis Kelce and the Kelce standard is what most millennial men, because again, he's 32 years old. So he grew up with the fourth wave feminist generation. He gets it, man. So I'm sure that if he has a wife, he will do what he has to do, protect and provide. But why are we telling young men to protect and provide for casual side piece? It doesn't make any sense. The only woman that should even get on in that conversation is your fiance or wife, maybe your baby mother, but the state's going to take care of that. So if you shoot up the club and you have a couple bastards out here, the state coming and get that 20%. So that's not a problem. They're going to get theirs. But he's smart. So let's see. The Village Arsonist says Travis Kelce wants white babies. Facts. Yeah. We can pretty much follow along with the rumors because, again, the Vipers over there at Lipstick Alley, they promoted Travis Kelce heavily the last 5 years. When they saw that he had something chocolate, their weaves exploded and caught on fire. That's Saiyan level shit right there. He out there, he got the chocolate woman. She's an IG thought, whatever, IG quote unquote model. They just lost their mind. There was no bigger promoter of that than Lipstick Alley. So yeah, he said, hey, we got the Supreme Court Roe v. Wade decision coming down, and we know that about 30 of the states is about to totally outlaw abortion, and it's going to be mixed. It's going to be like, limited to first trimester in another third of the states. And then the last third will have full, abortion like California, New York. They'll still allow probably to kill the baby before it takes its first breath. But the standard of abortion is changing. So Travis Kelce, as a white man, he got to get up. He got to do his duty. He's going to take his resources to another white woman out here in the zeitgeist, and his family has probably already picked out a white wife for him. Probably already got a white wife lined up from his dad and mom picking it out, a friend of the family or something. So that was always going to be the case. But again, there is no mountain higher than Swirl Mountain. No valley too low, no ocean too deep. No climb is met with greater adversity than the steep climb of Swirl Mountain. Most that attempt to climb are doomed to fail. Please, brothers, remember that. So let's see. Phantom Clutch says, I thought Brad was better, laughing out loud. I'm just wondering if Brad will keep that same energy with Becky and Ling Ling, laughing out loud. Man, we know by now that the most assaulted, the most abused are Black women when they date white men. The stats show that the relationship, when white men date outside of white women, right? The anti-Black racial domestic violence is the highest when he dates these non-white women. We don't really too much hear about them killing and beating up the Asian women like that. We don't hear too much about the Latinas. But when it comes to Black women, it seems like every day something happens in the news where these dudes are given diseases, they're beating them, they're killing them, they're raping and choke, whatever. But there has been a lot of silence. There's been a conspiracy to keep silent on actually what goes on in these relationships. But slowly but surely, they're starting to bubble up to the surface. And there are many, many more episodes to come in the Surviving Brad series because, believe me, there's going to be more and more cases. They can't hide it forever, man. They can't. Christopher Daly says, a standard can be changed. I say call it the Kelce edict or commandment. Ha! Hey, you have at it, man. Have at it. Kelce has set a standard, an edict, or a commandment, whatever you want to call it. All we know is that one of the highest paid white athletes told his Black girlfriend, you can get this D, bubble gum, and a shot of this vodka, but you ain't getting none of these resources. Because remember, when Kobe Bryant died, he was married to that woman since she was like 17 or 18 or something, man. He was married to Vanessa Bryant for like 20 years, man. 3-4 kids. That was his wife. She has a legal right to the resources that he left to her. Man, they were pissing on his grave, twerking, demanding that some kind of socialist action be taking place in probate court, that they can take all the money Kobe had and give it to the Black single mothers of America, because that was during that time of Tyler Perry when he was building like a project down in Atlanta for Black single mothers. So they was like, why can't we force the county in LA to do the same to Kobe Bryant? We want those resources because we're broke and alone with a bunch of bastards. They were very angry about that situation with Kobe and Vanessa Bryant. But where's the same smoke for Kelce? He's taking his resources back to white America. And he probably won't get a big contract after this because this contract doesn't expire to 2026. So this is the big money for him, right? Because his next contract, he'll be like, what, 36? He'll probably do a 1-year deal, and that's it going forward. And then he'll retire with his white wife the same way that the Mannings did. Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and most of these white guys. So let's see. Look at a couple more of you guys' comments, and then we'll go over to Lipstick Alley, and then I'm going to close this out. So let me see. Steel Post. He says, they only want the benefits of feminism. They want to boss men around and expect to pay all her bills. Absolutely. See, again, it's not abuse when it's Brad, though. Because I'm gonna go back and just stroll on Twitter just to show you, like, there's a way that when white men do something badly to a Black woman, that everyone handles it gently, even the men, not just the women, but the men too. But when it's a Black man, it's like it's okay to set him on fire. That's the reason why in my intro, I have that picture of an actual lynching and a burning and castration of a Black man that's actually happened. Because I feel that we Black men are the sacrificial lambs of society, and everyone's in on it. And it's our responsibility to call this shit out forever until it changes. Because ain't no one else going to do it for us, bro. You got overweight, obese, nutty professor looking academics out there saying that black men are radicalized because we are exercising our right of speech and our right to defend ourselves from this level of misandry and abuse. So just keep that in mind. It's only a crime when black men stand up and defend themselves as human beings. They call that radicalized because they're used to stepping on us and abusing us. But those days are done, man. The general says he pulled a brother move, laughing out loud, love it. In 5 years, she got no ring and had to go 50-50. Man, that 50-50 thing is crazy, but only without context. Because when I bring up the Destiny's Child Independent Woman lyrics, I'm going to just read like 1 or 2 verses from that song so that you guys can see that they can't be mad at the Kelce standard because he didn't even create it. The fourth wave feminists created the Kelce standard. He just delivered it in real time to teach us what's going down. Beyonce was one of the biggest promoters, her and Destiny's Child. And if you don't believe me, I'm bringing it up right now because a lot of guys are like, man, not Beyonce. She got a husband. Yeah, she got a husband because she was grifting off of these lonely women. She misled them to get that bag because it was just entertainment and business. The business of entertainment, matter of fact. So let's see what Beyonce would think of the Kelce standard. You guys tell me if I'm reaching when I say that Beyonce was one of the biggest co-signers of the Kelce standard. So y'all tell me if I'm reaching here. Let's go through these lyrics real quick. It's unfortunate that YouTube doesn't even let us play snippets, man, because it'd be nice to just let you guys hear just one verse. So I'll try to read the verse. So this is from Destiny's Child Platinum album in September of 2000, #1 on the charts, Independent Women. So here we are, 20 years ago, where Beyonce says, question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my own rings. Only ring is selly when I'm feeling lonely. When it's all over, please get up and leave. Question, tell me how you feel about this. Try to control me, boy, you get dismissed. Pay my car note, and I pay my own bills. Always 50-50 in relationships. Now, that's the first verse from Beyonce. Now, here's the chorus with Kelly and Franklin. The shoes on my feet, I bought them. The clothes I'm wearing, I bought them. The rock I'm rocking, I bought it because I depend on me if I want it. The watch I'm wearing, I bought it. The house I live in, I bought it. The car I'm driving, I bought it. I depend on me. I depend on me. So there it is. Beyonce, Destiny's Child, one of the richest, most successful faux pas feminists to ever have done it. She sold them the fourth wave feminism lie and then went and got a whole former drug dealer husband. A whole former drug dealing husband. A Pookie, a reform. Matter of fact, Jay-Z got to be the template for the reform Pookie. But he got what at that time was the baddest chick in the R&B game who sold for 20 years the idea that you don't need a man. You could do it yourself. Pass up on all the productive middle-class brothers out there, working-class brothers. Right now, there's a brother driving a truck in an economy that's going into the recession, making sure that the logistics is right, that we get our bread, that we get our oatmeal, we get our steaks. He's out there. He's driving 20 hours, but he don't get no appreciation. Beyonce said, you don't need him. Get you a reform Pookie or a Pookie and pay your own bills. And now when Travis Kelce growing up in this generation says, you know what? Beyonce was right about this. They can pay their own bills. They're more employed than we are now. In many Silicon Valley companies, they're paying the female engineers more than the men. That was exposed at Google. In their attempt to overcorrect, they found out that they were paying the female engineers more than the men while giving them paid abortion leave, paid maternal leave. Here you are as a man engineer at a place like Google working your butt off, but these women are accruing entitlement benefits that are a surplus on their 100K salaries. So you and her are doing the same work. You're taking off less days, but she gets an extra bonus of all kinds of reasons to leave the office and get paid while you work. Something to think about. I'm telling you, the Kelce standard is real. So we'll dip over to Lipstick Alley real quick, and then I'll catch you guys' last comment, and I'm going to close it out and let you guys get to your Memorial Day partying. So let's see what's popping over here at Lipstick Valley when it comes to Mr. Travis Kelce. So if anyone out there talks to Ramil, tell that dude that he got to do a stream on this Travis Kelce, because if Travis Kelce is not the pump and dump king of all kings, I don't know who is. If it was any other person, man, you see how they dragging Deshaun Watson right now? You see how they dragging Cam Newton? If it was a black man doing what Travis Kelce was doing, there would be 24-hour streams for the next 30 days on what he did to that quote-unquote black queen. But no smoke for Travis Kelce and the Kelce standard. And you brothers still continue to pump this simp economy, and then thinking that there's some kind of dark day coming for these women. As long as the state is there, as long as the feds are there, and as long as you simps are there, there ain't no dark days coming. They're going to keep collecting W's and W's, and even their losses are W's. Because in the words of Brittany Renner, the only thing I'm bringing to the table is this WAP. So, okay, I got the Lipstick Alley up. We're going to look and see how the Vipers over there were talking about Kelce. So let's see what the Vipers had to say about Kelce. Now, in regards to Kayla, they're saying she is just seeking attention at this point. Like, she shouldn't have been this bitter, especially about another man's opinion. Like, who cares? That's funny to me, man. Because, again, if this was any black man, there's not this gentleness, this kindness, this give the benefit of the doubt. It's guilty, guilty, more guilty. I'm surprised that he is still around. He legit got accused of sexual harassment by multiple women. He always goes out of his way to talk about Kayla. I wish she would really cuss him out one good time. So allegedly, the Vipers over there at Lipstick Alley are claiming that there were actually sexual harassment claims against Travis Kelce. Again, this is allegedly, and this is coming from Lipstick Valley, so take that for what you want. But again, that shows how the standard is different, because you'll often hear the radicalized feminists say that black women and white men had the longest lasting relationships. But over time, during the course of the Surviving Brad series, we've learned that's only because they have a higher level of abuse that they're willing to accept from white Jesus. We've seen it. You guys remember the case in San Diego of the black woman who was murdered by her white husband, put in the family deep freezer in the basement, and was there for 2 years, and the police didn't even investigate the husband until 2 years later he said, yeah, it's clear. And early dawn in San Diego, he woke up and he said, it's time to remove this 2-year-old frozen, rotten black corpse of my wife. And he tried to dump his black ex-wife, who he killed, into the Pacific Ocean. And they caught him in the dawn, the twilight. They caught him. But if they didn't catch him dumping that body, the San Diego police failed, the prosecuting attorneys failed, the state attorneys, everyone failed to find that the killer was the white husband. So we know that the standard is different. Now, this person says, Cam basically threw shade at hypersexualized, can't cook, don't work, but you want to be a wife, IG models. Yet he impregnated a Persian one, laughing out loud. It's the hypocrisy for me. I mean, that's a fair comment, because if Cam Newton, he knocked the IG model up like Kayla Nicole, then, you do have to live your creed. You can't simply preach a creed. If you're not living your creed, it always undermines your credibility at the end of the day, because it gives your opponents an easy target to say, hey, he said this, but he did that. So he's preaching, but not doing. So I don't know if that's true. For you guys in the chat, is it true that Cam Newton knocked up an IG model from Persia, living that Sisbum lifestyle? Shout out to Mad Bus Driver on that one. A lot of these dudes is choosing something different, it looks like, in 2022, huh? So this person says, well, she's in LA with her best friends and family. Of course, she's going to go out whether Travis is there or not. So let's see something else. Okay, so this is someone saying, I noticed last off season that they don't really spend that much time together during the summer, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I always wonder about those couples that spend all season together and then spend the whole off season together. I'm like, y'all not tired of each other? This is someone that will never have a long-term relationship that wrote that. I told you they're vipers, man, over here in the Lipstick Alley. Kayla, girl, some things should be reserved for your close friends. This brought unnecessary drama and attention to herself. But a man writing an article about it, it's giving beta vibes. What happened to real journalism? Wow. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm going to close out of that, bro. You guys get the gist of what I'm getting at, man. Do you see how if the white man, even when he's guilty, he's innocent? Even when he's guilty, he's innocent in the eyes of the white male worshipers. You don't see not one bad comment in the first 10 comments. Not one. At best, they're kind of like, it's like a fair assessment kind of thing. It's like a objective. But if it was a black man, shout out to David Carroll, his white skin covers a multitude of imperfections and sins. This internalized white male worshiper is so deep in these people that no matter how bad the crime, the white man gets the benefit of the doubt. When those white brads murdered their wives that I've tracked over the course of the series, the black women and their advocates will email me saying, he hasn't been found guilty yet. It could have been someone else. I'm like, but if it was a black guy, you don't give him that benefit of doubt. You don't believe in innocent until proven guilty when it's a black guy. Guilty, 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 because he's a black man, no matter how good he is. So that's something to think about. So that pretty much is my main thoughts on this. I had to, chime in because I've been trying to bring attention to the whole anti-black domestic violence and abuse culture that so many people are interested in hiding. And it stood out to me about this story because it's an intersection between so many of the self-appointed gurus and the actual reality of what's going on out here in the modern toxic sexual marketplace. Travis Kelce proved this whole idea that you got to play Romeo, that you got to pay for anything and maintain a casual relationship over the course of 5 years. Remember now, in 2022, the average marriage in America, when you take out the boomers and the remaining, I believe it's the silents, when you take out those that are over 50, the average marriage in America lasts about 3 to 5 years. If you include everybody, it's something like 7 or 8. But when you look at like Gen X, millennials, and Zs that have gotten married, that we can see the proof, 3 to 5 years, and it just keeps going down and down and down. So the percentage keeps dropping with marriage, and the duration of marriages gets shorter and shorter. In fact, the average, even just like a casual coupling kind of girlfriend-boyfriend thing only lasts about 3 months now. According to like Tinder data and OkCupid, they said that the average casual boyfriend-girlfriend relationship only lasts about 3 months now. So the duration and the volume is going down, 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 and down. Travis Kelce and the Kelce Standard says, I can be a 15 million a year man. I can be in a casual relationship with what you call your black queen. I can pump and dump her. And every year I can dump her and then go jump back on the open marketplace. And when I'm done with my hot boy summer, because remember that dude, Chet Hanks, last year, he said it was white boy summer. So Travis Kelce, when white boy summer comes around, dump, back and forth. Now she posting up all these little, thirst traps for the men. And then the tears come. And now it's like, okay, we got our white boy summer out of the way. It's the fall. Cuffing season is coming. You can jump back in. So the Kelce Standard says you can go 50-50 no matter what you earn. So just remember, in the words of Kayla Nicole, that caused the internet to go nuts when she said it on her IG Live, how are women able to afford designer bags and G-Wagons? because she herself said she was forced to buy her clothes at Zara because she had bills to pay. And people thought it was odd because her boyfriend was Travis Kelce, who isn't hurting for money. You see what I'm saying? There's this like, everyone is like a social scientist when a white man does something wrong. They want to look deeply into it. There got to be something else going on. It's no way that a white man at the top of Swirl Mountain would have that beautiful black queen and make her go 50-50, paying half the light bill, paying half the grocery bill, paying her own rent. No way that a white man making $15 million a year could have a black woman that most of these dudes will give their left arm for doing that. Yes, he did. The Kelce standard is here, and for the foreseeable future, it's going nowhere. But with that, I'm gonna check the chat one last time, and we'll close out. But I appreciate y'all coming through. I know it's been a while, but man, this, sometimes you see a trend that pops up on social media. I got to comment on this, man, because this is a teachable moment for those black men out there that got that cape waving. Super Sim! I'm here to pay your bills, rent, car note, and all that. For that guy, take notes. You can apply this Kelce standard, or you can keep pumping the simp economy. It's up to you. So let me see. Charles Irby says, Lipstick Alley is bid-win central. I wish them the best to find a non-black man. If Kayla Nicole failed to climb Swirl Mountain and secure the ring, you really believe that a bunch of 40-year-old washed women are going to be able to get them a Travis Kelce? Stop it, man. The next chick that you see him with is going to be like some kind of white girl. And it ain't going to be one of those trailer trash, cash me outside type of white girls. He's going to get him one of those Kate Middleton, raised in Orange County, father is the CEO of Silicon Valley type white girls. One of those Kylie name type of chicks. Her name is going to be Kylie or Karen. Trust me on that one. Ain't going to be one of those hood chicks. Hey, Prime VA, my email is kingsigma123 at Gmail. So Azriel says, I was told by a black ex, if I can't pay for everything, then I'm not a real man. No, correction. What she meant to tell you is that if you can't pay for everything, you're not a real white man. You're not a white man. That's why you got to pay. Again, the Kelce standard is here, Azriel. You can't let these women keep gaslighting you. The next time a woman tells you about the 50-50 standard, you tell her, why doesn't that apply to millionaires? So they are the most capable. When you take a percentage of your money to pay for a casual arrangement, you're going to feel it. Kelce could have paid half of everything, and he wouldn't even, it would be like pennies to him, bro. But he said, no, I'm applying the white man Kelce standard to these bras out here. If you're not my wife, you don't get access to the wallet. That's the Kelce standard. Because the irony is that when he gets his Kylie or Karen, he's going to be all over IG showing them flying here, there, the Maybach. They over here in San Tropez. He's going to be showing all of that. She's going to be wearing the Gucci's. The Birkin bags that Kayla was asking about, she's going to have every Birkin bag, every designer style, every color. And she's going to be sitting there confused, making some black male simp that wipes up life hell. Because there's a black male simp out there right now that his future wife is going to be Kayla. And his life is going to be a hell because she is a white man's widow. A white man's black widow is the kind of misery that I would never wish on any black man. You will never be able to meet the Kelce standard as a black man. On Swirl Mountain, that is only for black women and white men. And that's straight from the pink pill priestess herself before she went and got a black man's to make life hell. So just keep that in mind. Right now, there's a black dude that's been schooled in the black simp game that is going to be the future husband of Kayla in about 5 years. She's going to run the yard for 5 years, run the clock, and at the very last second, she's going to find a black simp, and his life is going to be hell. Because every day that she has to go on media and hear about Travis Kelce with his white Karen, you're going to be the one that gets the brunt of that. So let me see. Get a couple more comments before I go. If I missed anyone's super chat, I'm sorry. It's just that it's kind of inconvenient the way that StreamYard is set up to look at comments and look at articles at the same time. That's something they need to get together where you can actually see, super chats while you're reading articles. But it's all good, man. I appreciate y'all support and just showing out with me. Sometimes it's good to get a good laugh in. So Charles says men shouldn't be spending money on women who aren't their wives. They should receive hard dick and bubblegum. I agree 100%. That's my rule. If she's not your wife, she's not the mother of your children, why are you spending money on her? She's bringing to the table the same thing you're bringing. So that means that you're pedestalizing her sexuality over your sexuality. That means that you don't feel equal or greater to her sexually. So you feel that you have to try to make up for your lack of sexual confidence. So that's on you. But no, that's the woman that you should take her. That's why it's important to have a standard, because you incentivize good and bad behavior by what you reward. So if you have a generation of men coming up and they start rewarding only women that they get married to and refusing to pay for side pieces, then that behavior will change over time. But again, I just don't see that happen anytime soon for the majority of men. Christopher Daly says, Keisha needs to work on herself. If she cannot date 50-50 and pay her half of the bills, that's on her. And with that, I think I got as caught up as I could with the comments. I do appreciate you all coming out today and joining me for this discussion. I think it's important that we take these case examples and bring them to the forefront, because if we don't bring these cases before the discourse, the marketplace of ideas, everyone will continue to act like they are surrogates and to act like they are elected spokespeople. I, as an independent, free-thinking Black man, don't need anyone to research for me. I don't need you to think for me. You think for yourself and think about things critically. You put the puzzle pieces together, and then you come and talk to me, and let's figure out what we both found and if we see some kind of trends going on. So with that, I appreciate all of you. Everyone have a very great Memorial weekend. Stay safe out there. And until next time, King Sigma signing out. Peace.